kids, welcome back to EduPal. I hope you all are doing good and your day was super duper great. So today we are going to learn in this video about types of pronouns. Okay, so you can see some things, a table written here, right? So we all know what a pronoun is, right? A pronoun is a word that takes the place of noun and modifies, right? So today we are just going to learn about the type where is the pronoun. So today we are just going to learn about the types of the pronouns. So there are lots of types of the pronouns. So we are going to learn some of them in today's video and some of them in next one. Okay? Okay, because it's a long process and it's a long, topic. Okay. Thank you. So now as you can see here that the first one is personal pronoun. So the first is personal pronoun. Okay. So the first type of pronoun we are going to talk about is the personal pronoun. So as the word suggests, the person will have the word person in it. So we all know that a sentence have a first person, the second person, and a third person, right? So whenever we are talking about a person in a sentence, we call that we are talking about a personal pronoun. We use the personal pronouns at that place. Okay? So the personal pronoun, as we all know, a sentence. Whenever we are forming any sentence, it is made up of subject plus object, right? A sentence is made up of subject plus object. Right, kids? Okay. So now, whenever I'm going to talk about that when we are using a subject I, let's say I take an example of, a sentence. Let's take an example of a sentence. I met Rohan. Okay. So this is the word or this is a sentence we took right over here. Okay. So I met Rohan. So this is a sentence I'm using over here. So the word I here I'm using for myself. So that is the subject of the sentence, right? Rohan is the second person. So Rohan is the object. So I'm talking about Rohan. So Rohan is the object of the sentence. Now let's just take sentence. Let's just change the sentence. Rohan met me. So here, the subject in the first sentence was I, so I used Rohan. But when the subject changes to Rohan, the object became me. So this is the object. As you can see, the same thing in the table also, that when there was a subject I, we call it as, we make an object as me. When there is a subject you, we use an object as you itself. When we are using we use it, the object as us. When we use they as a subject, we use them as the object in the sentence. Just like that, she and him, she and her, it and it. Now, we are going to learn it with some more, some more examples. Let's just take some more examples for the same. Okay, so I am going to write some more examples for the personal pronouns over here. Okay, so let's just write some sentence. He was waiting. He was waiting for me. So now you can see that there is a subject he, and there here we have an object as me. Okay, so this is the subject of the sentence and this is the object. Now let's just take one more example. She runs fast. Did you see her? Did you see her? Okay, so here you can see that she is the subject of the sentence, and you can say you and her is the object. As you can see in the table that you can be subject and you can be object at the same time. So here you is the object. We are talking about the other person, right? And the her is the object as well. Okay, kids? Now let's just take one more example. I have done it. In this sentence, here I is the subject of the sentence and it is the object is the same. Right, kids? Now, there's one thing we have to keep in mind always that whenever we are, saying that we are using some words, some pronouns, we have to be very careful that whenever we are using I is a singular, right? I is a singular pronoun. You here is singular, but we, they, them, like the words, this is a note for you that whenever we are using the word, pronouns we, they, them, these words, these pronouns are always used for a plural noun. Okay, let's say, let's take an example that I'm talking about. Here I'm giving the example. I'm talking about me, Mira, and okay, let's just take one example with three girls. Let's take an example of three girls. Okay, yeah. So Mira, Sam, and I went to the park. So this is one sentence. Instead of Mira, Sam, I. Including these three girls or these three persons, we can just use we. We went to the park, right? We can use the word we instead of using Mira, Sam, and I individually. So we have used we for the more than two words that is for plural, right? So here, what was the personal pronoun we have learned? Let's learn about some more different pronouns. Let's go on the different slide. Okay. Okay. So now, kids, we are going to learn about the second type of noun that is a possessive noun. We have already learned about the personal noun. Now we are going to learn about possessive nouns. Okay. As you can see, that a possessive word already means what is possessive. Whenever we are talking about possession, so in any sentence, possessive means it is representing someone's ownership. Okay, it is representing ownership. I would be highlighting this word because this is the main key point. It represents ownership or possession to something. Possession to something. Like I have sent, I have written some of the possessive pronouns which can be used in the place of nouns in the sentences like my, mine, yours, our, ours, their, theirs. Means these are in the plurals. These were in the plurals. Okay, his, his. Now, as you can see, I have marked star on his. So because in his, both the forms like the singular and the plural are the same, right? It is like his and his only, right? Now let's go about her, hers. That is also again a plural. It, its. Like its and its. Again, it is, the star mark. So what is the star mark? Star mark means both singular and plural are same. Right, kids? Okay. So now let's understand it with some examples. Okay. Let's understand the possessive pronouns with some examples. Okay. So I'm going to take some examples. Over here in the sentence. Okay. Let's say this is one example. This is my book. So I am showing my ownership to the book by the word my, saying that this is my book. So my means it is showing the ownership that this book belongs to me only, right? Next one is we can say also this book is mine. The word mine over here is the possessive pronoun. Where is yours? So here the word yours is again a possessive pronoun. Okay, kids? Yeah. Let's talk about the fourth example. Let's say this house is ours. Okay, so here ours, the word ours is again the possessive pronoun that shows the ownership of the house, that this house belongs to ours. Now, what does ours mean? R here means plural, right? So means plural means that not only one person, but the house also belongs to the other persons as equally as me, right? Like say the house belongs to the whole family. So we can say that this house belongs to us or this house is ours, right kids? Okay. Now let's take one example. That is hers, right? That is hers. So here hers is the example of the possessive pronoun. Okay kids? So now let's just learn about the next type of pronoun in the video. Okay kids? So let's learn about that. So now kids, we are going to learn about some more type of pronoun, that is the reflexive pronoun. So the word reflexive itself means reflective, right? So whenever we are, looking towards the mirror, we can see ourselves more. So here also, in any sentence, when subject and object, subject and object, both are same, there we use the reflexive pronoun. There we use reflexive pronouns. Now, what does it mean when I say the subject and object are same in a sentence? Like when we say that I, I is the subject and I can be the object also. It can be subject and it can be a subject and it can be the object also. So what is happening that the work is going on I itself, right? The work is happening on the I itself. Okay. So let's understand it with some examples so that we can get a better, clearance our about the reflexive pronouns. Okay. So here I'm going to take some examples. Okay. Let's learn it with some examples. So, before the example, let's do some reflexive pronouns in the table given. That myself, we are going to use a myself inside the sentence. Yourself or yourself. Now, why there are two things? Like self, one is self and other is the self. So in the last to last pronoun, we have learned about the singular and the plural one. We was plural, right? So here also, the word self means when we are talking about the singular, and the selves means when we are talking about more than one, that is plural. Okay, so again, ourselves. So means ourselves. We are talking about more than one people. So we are talking about ourselves. Okay, themselves. Right? We can say themselves or we can say themselves. Right? We can't use themselves. We always use themselves. Because why? Because if we are going to see that them word is already a plural in it. So we can't use self in it. So we can't use self in it. We have to use selves. We have to use self for the word them. Okay? So we have to use the word self for them. So we always say themselves, but not them. Right? Themselves. Yes, kids? Okay. Now we are going to do it with some examples. Okay, let's do some examples that you see, okay, you see yourself in the mirror. So we are talking about the work is happening here, the subject is, and the object is also you own, right? So the object is also you own, right, kids? So when subject and the object is same and the work is happening on the object only, then we say that here we are using the reflexive pronoun that is yourself. Okay, now let's just learn about one more, do it with one more example. He talks to himself. Here again, the word self, himself, means that we are using the verb he. The subject is he and the object is himself. So here what we can see that the subject and object is used for the same person, right? You and yourself. Both are used for the same person, right, kids? Okay. Now we are going to learn about it with some more examples. Okay? Yeah. Let's learn about it with some more examples. Okay? I, myself, myself, okay. I, myself, will go there. What does it mean? I is the subject, myself. So what of the work is happening on the word I only, right? So I is doing work on itself, that is myself. That is why when I am going to talk about. Now here are some examples of singular. Let's take one example of plural as well. Okay, they are going to do it by themselves. Now here we are using themselves but not themselves, right? So why? Because we are using a plural subject. So we are using a plural object also. We can't use self. Why? Because we are using the subject as singular, plural, not singular. So these are the three types of pronouns we have learned today. Now we are left with 4 or 5 more types of pronouns so that we are going to learn in the next video. Okay, kids? So till then, don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so we are not going to miss any updates from Medieval. Have a good day. Bye bye.